Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Citizens of Lorcana podcast, a podcast where we invite you to be part of their world. This week we are talking DLCs and Set 4. So without further ado, let's jump into the episode. Hey everyone, welcome to another week. Last week we had a chance to catch up with Adara, and we did predictive rankings of the Set 4 legendaries, which we are getting a lot of flack about our ranking of Diablo. But if you haven't had a chance to listen or watch, then make sure to check it out either on YouTube, where we recorded our first podcast, and or the podcasting platform of your choice. So today we're talking about DLCs and Set 4 because my man James, aka Dan Regal, is going to Atlanta.
Yeah, like right now, going to Atlanta. Like,
when are you leaving?
I'm leaving Friday morning,
Okay.
like 11ish or something like that, and then getting in around 6:30. So I have to rush to the Congress Center for early check-in and try and get that promo. So if I land at 6:30, I have to hope that my bag comes out as fast as possible, and then the Uber is there as quick as possible, and then we baby driver it through the streets of Atlanta over to the Congress Center and get in line to do early check-in in time.
Something tells me you have a lot of things that need to go right in this scenario. I'm pulling for you, man, but
not the least of which is that there's a really long line at the end there, and they stay open till like 8:30.
Wow.
I think that'll help.
But I know FOMO is something that is big with you. Like you like to have one of everything. So
yeah,
I hope you get there. I hope you get it.
If I can get that promo, I think that means I have a chance to actually, if I get a few other of the event promos like the PAX promos, I'd actually have a chance to have every promo numbered 1 through 40.
There you go.
And then if I win stuff at the DLC, I have a chance to get the ones over number 40.
That'd be so cool.
But let's talk today deck tech and specs. And so, Jared, why don't you share what you are planning to run for Set 4?
Yeah, hold on. I'm bringing it up here on my screen. So
we have video now, so we can actually show stuff while people are watching it on YouTube. Like, we're fancy and stuff.
That's right. Let's see. Here it is. Okay. Still new to all this tech stuff, okay? All right, can you see this okay?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so this is from my good friend. Okay, I'm a terrible friend because I'm not even 100% sure how to say his name. Savij?
That's how everyone I've heard pronounces it.
He's really cool. He was actually at the One Set Championship that I played at. I never ran into him, but Ruby Sapphire is kind of his deck. And you know that I've been a big Sapphire fan. And all during reveal season, we were talking about how Item Slinger could be a deck this time. So I'm not going to go out here and say that this deck is Item Slinger in the true sense of the word, but it does heavily focus on items. And this is a deck that is causing a lot of people upsetness. And so we're going to talk about this. So it's Ruby Sapphire, and yeah, I mean, it has Hiram, it has the Popsicle, which is the engine that makes it go. But in addition, oh my gosh. Okay, so I don't even know how to break this down. So we're going to talk about, so yes, there's items. The way we get items out is there are 3 scuttles. Scuttle lets you search your deck, like the top 3 cards, right?
Yeah, it's basically be our guest for items, I think.
Yeah, and if you find an item, you get to take it to your hand. So that's one way to get items out. And then we have Mr. Hiram here, where when you quest, you get to banish an item and draw 2 cards. And then we have Tamatoa here, who the more items out on the play of field, the more lore that he gets. Plus, when you play him and when he quests, you get to retrieve an item from the discard pile. And then we have the Vital Sphere. Oh my gosh. Have you played against this yet, James? Like, I know you're preparing for Atlanta, but have you played with or against this yet?
No, I haven't even seen anyone playing with the Vitosphere yet. It's mostly been all Icebox that I've seen what people are talking about.
The Vital Sphere is pretty nasty, man. So you pay 2, you exert it, and then you get to give one of your characters +2 strength and rush. So the main way that it works in this deck, but you could also use it with Aladdin, the 7 cost one from set 1. But a lot of people are putting this Mulan down using this Vital Sphere, and then they're giving her +2, sending her to attack your opponent, and then this Mulan lets you distribute that same amount of damage to 2 other people. It's so good. So good.
That's crazy.
Yes. So that's how we're getting items out. So now let's talk about items. So we talked about Vital Sphere. We talked about how that's used. And then Ice Block. Okay. This is the big bad one. And in this deck, there's only one in here. It could probably use more. Because
I think I've seen most people now upping it to like 3 or 4 at least, like in almost every deck I've seen.
Yeah, makes sense. Because it goes well with this Sisu here. So Sisu, when you play this legendary Sisu onto the board, you are able to banish all characters that cost 2 or less. So where Ice Block comes in is you exert Ice Block and it lets you reduce an opponent's strength by 1. So this Sisu can act as a clear board. However, this Sisu up here, 3 cost uninkable, when you play her on the board, you can banish an opposing character with 1 strength or less. So again, if you're able to use this Ice Block to decrease an opponent's strength down to 1, goodbye.
Yeah. Those Sisus are amazing.
They really are. Yep. I'm happy to see Sisu finally have a chance to shine. And this other Sisu, both of these Sisus really just exist as a shift target for the bigger Sisu.
Right.
There's Popsicle. Obviously, we all know what Popsicle is for. There's Fishbone Quill. We all know what Fishbone Quill is for. And then there's also Lucky Dime. And we all know what Lucky Dime is for. So that's kind of the main core of this deck. But this deck also wants you to ramp because it features 4 copies of One Jump Ahead. It features 4 copies of How Far I Will Go. Both of those allow you to ramp. I really like How Far I'll Go. And it also features 2 copies of Belle. Belle's another way to ramp, even that's a function of her that really, people forget about. And then, of course, because it's Ruby, we have to have cards like Maui. Okay? Yep. Got to remove them. We have Madame Medusa. Madame Medusa, we all know what she does. This is a card a lot of people say should be the first to be banned, but she's a good card when you're playing with her. And we also have this one here, Brawl. So Brawl is also, it's a 3 cost inkable. It lets you banish 1 character with 2 strength or less. And of course, we have Be Prepared. So this deck, the thing that makes it work is control. Like, it's all about control. And then these items are really designed to help enhance your ability to control. And Scuttle and Tamatoa and Hiram just fuel that engine. So, and then you also have Develop Your Brain in here, which helps you fish things out. So it's a pretty good deck, and it's pretty oppressive. I see a lot of people complaining about it on Twitter that this is the big bad, this one, and Emerald Steel with Bucky discard. But pretty fun to play with.
Yeah. Now, do you think that having all of those one-ofs might be a bit of an issue since you will just randomly find or not find those cards? You think it maybe could be tightened up a little bit with more 2s and 3s?
Yeah, honestly, when I played this myself, I have made some adjustments. Granted, I'm no Mr. Savage here. He is one of the best, so I'm not going to sit here and say that what I do is better than what he does. But when I see stuff like so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards in here that only have 1 copy. That makes my heart stop a beat or 2.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get the Hiram draw engine going, it's fine. You'll probably see most of these cards or the ones that you need. But I like that consistency.
Right. I think the issue I would have is that you kind of have the 2 different forms of removal when maybe you should be going all in on the one, which, the Mulan Vitalosphere is all about challenging. and you don't necessarily have. I don't think we're yet in a really big challenging matters meta, so you may not even have that many targets. I do agree that it will help for those characters that people are basically using as items, like the new Flynn and Ling, who give you those bonuses, and you can use the Mulan spread damage, where she can do it to 2 other characters, to those, since they're never going to exert them. But otherwise, I would say that maybe just upping the totals of the ones that are doing the reduction, so that you can hit them with Brawl and Medusa and the Sisus, and taking out the challenge package and just upping all of the removal package.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of to tighten it up a little bit, since I have seen like more brawls and more ice boxes, and the only thing I can see really to take out is those Mulan and Vitalosphere, but you're also losing Inkables. I know that this deck also is going to get really tough in the uninkables, with, like, I think some of the versions well over 20.
And I think that's where cards like, because I mean, you have One Jump Ahead and you have How Far I'll Go. Those are technically uninkables, but like worst case scenario, you're able to at least play one jump and get another ink.
Right.
But yeah, it never feels good. I agree.
Yeah. So have you? So are you taking it? Have you taken it to a league yet, or is it?
No. Like, part of it is just like I personally don't have the Sisus or the Mulans. I ordered them; they're on their way. But there's just a lot of stuff here that I'm well, not a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's mostly just
the legendaries, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's having a hard time getting those. I actually have not pulled a single Mulan. I got a foil, which I don't collect the foils now, so I'm going to be trading it for a regular one and something else. But I have not pulled a regular Mulan yet.
Wow.
But I did get a lot of Sisus, so I got enough Sisus. But who knows?
Let's go. The Sisu's fun to play with, though.
I might actually run that deck this season. That, or I don't know. We'll figure something out. We're gonna run a bunch of different things and just try and find like a fun one and a meta one. So you can run some fun stuff at leagues and things, and the meta one for tournaments.
All right, man. So talking about tournaments, we alluded to this already. You are going to Atlanta, so tell us how you're preparing. How's it going, and how are you feeling?
I am feeling like I am woefully unprepared.
I don't know if you ever would feel prepared, but right. I mean, I know that you guys are practicing hours and hours. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, continue. Doing lots of practicing. We spent at least one of our regular nights where we go and play at Kingslayer. We actually just went there, since all of us were planning to go anyway, and instead of playing in the regular tournament, we all sat down and just ran decks against each other. We had a couple of people who are also going to Atlanta from our store who agreed to just sit and run decks. We just ran decks into each other's decks to see how they went. We were testing stuff out, and of course, we probably are going to switch. I guess it's last minute, which is this week, to something else. It's just so difficult. I've talked about this, about how, during set chances, like, what do you play with all these different decks that you can play? And really, it's just going into it with something that you're comfortable with, that you know how to use, and that you think is going to have a better than average chance of giving you those wins you need to get up in the standings. So that's what we're going with.
And then I heard you're running a Sapphire Emerald deck. Is that right? Just teasing. I don't know if I've seen anybody run that since set one.
Nope, you might see it this set though. I think that that might be a fun one for this set with the different options you have.
I think you're right.
So so that's what we're doing. We're practicing a lot. We're doing lots of little changes in decks to see if one little change here or there. Trying to figure out like if these three, like which three decks we think are going to be brought the most, so we can figure out like, okay, if we think these are the three most common decks we're going to face, what do we think can win or has a better chance of winning against these three. And unfortunately, there is no deck, I think, that can win, like, okay, so Emerald Steel or something like that. Okay, that's kind of almost an instant win against Ruby Sapphire, right? It can just run through that pretty quickly in most cases. There's not, but then Emerald Steel will not be able to run through anything else as easily. So it's like, well, do you take Emerald Steel knowing that it can be Ruby Sapphire if you think that there's going to be a bunch of Ruby Sapphire there? I don't know. So it's you just have like this hop from each deck to deck and just try and figure out, okay, which one is going to be played the most. And I don't think there is one that's going to be played the most. I think we're going to have like 3 or 4 decks that are going to be 20 to 25% of all the decks there. And then the other 3 or 4 decks are going to be the rest of the decks,
So like when you guys are practicing, are you practicing the 2-game format? Like,
we're basically keeping track of every 2 games, how we played, and each of us going first once, just to see, okay, can this deck go first and second? What's the result? We ran 2 decks against each other for like 6 games in a row, and it was 3-3, and we're like, well, that's not the result you want. You want at least 1-2-0, right?
Oh man. So how are you feeling about this 2-game format?
You know what? I actually like the 2-game format. I think it's just very frustrating, knowing that you have to win probably 13 or 14 out of the 18 games you play on day 1 to basically be on the bubble or just above of getting in on the top 64. I mean, it's rough. 64 players out of 2,000 are getting into the day 2. That's crazy.
And when you say win, you're talking about going 2-0.
No, I'm talking. Right? There's 2. So you're playing 2 games per round. There's 9 rounds, so that means you're going to play 18 games total.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. Most games you can play. So out of those 18 games you can play, it's going to take 13 or 14 wins. I think it's 14 will basically, the way the numbers work, I think, is you have to win 14 of the 18 games you would conceivably play to get into the top 64.
Dang, man. 9 hours. That is a long time.
Technically 10 hours because there's going to be a 1-hour lunch break.
Okay, well, at least there's that. I like that.
Yeah, it's after round 3, I read. So after they hand you your Dragonfire promo, you can be like, okay, I dropped. See ya.
Peace. Oh, people are like, if
there's
people
are
going
of people dropping. Yeah,
they're gonna drop. Yeah. All right. So we got your idea. We got your thoughts on the 2-game format. So tell us, where would you set your expectations? Obviously you're hoping to go all the way, but think you'll make that top 64?
I think that I would have to have like my best day playing ever at this point to make it. I think I would have, and with all the variants and all the different decks, I would have to face really good matchups for at least half the games where I am favored in the matchup from the get-go with the deck, and then also play really well. So it's gonna be tough. I honestly really only want to, at the end of the day, feel like I played well. I don't want to sit at the end of the day and just look back at dozens of mistakes I made. And say, look, this is where I made a mistake, and this is where I made a mistake, and here's a mistake. I know I'm going to make mistakes because there's just no way you can play perfectly for 9 hours. But I don't want to look back and see the day full of mistakes. I want to see that I want to feel like I played well. And even if that means I'm 600th or 1000th or whatever it is, if I end the day, I will feel well. I will feel good about myself that I played well.
Well, honestly, I feel like, you put in so many hours and you did well in the set championship. And that, because you're still playing the same meta, and you put in so many hours, like, I don't think you can sit there and say that you're going to make stupid mistakes. You can make mistakes from being tired after playing 10 hours. But I think if anybody can sit there and say that they've prepared, like, it's going to be you. So, I know you got that pregame jitters, but I'm sure you're going to crush it out there. So, I mean,
Yeah.
hypothetically speaking, though, hypothetically speaking, if you do like lose, go 0-2, 2 or 3 rounds, are you finishing the thing out, or are you dropping after like round 4 or 5?
I think I actually, if I am losing a lot, I will drop after 4 or 5 because I will then go and play side events and try and earn tickets so I can get something off the prize wall to make the trip worthwhile. Because the prize wall has some fun stuff on it and some good exclusive stuff that I would enjoy owning. So I would definitely do that. But I would
Yeah, the
have to
prize
be
wall.
like, in the first 10 games, like in the first 5 rounds, the 10 games, I would have to be like 2-8 for me to drop. If I was 5-5, I'd probably keep going.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the prize wall is interesting because it really, it almost really incentivizes you to not keep playing in that, the main event. Um, if you do want to, have a chance to go and win a prize from the prize wall. And I have no idea how, the prize wall is going to work out. Like, are there going to be thousands of prizes there, hundreds, just like 10? Who knows? I don't know. Maybe,
Right.
but yeah, like you want to get as many chances as you can to try to get something off of that prize wall. I totally get that.
And I totally think that if you are on the fence, anyone out there listening, if you are on the fence about just going as an attendee, like, you go. There's no way you don't go, because that prize wall, you can just, for 2 days, you can sit there and grind out games in the side events and get some really good stuff off that prize wall just playing games. So I would, if you're on the fence at all, I would say yes, go ahead and do it. I mean, a playmat, 2 promos, and then all the other stuff you have a chance to get, even if it's just product. You can get product just for playing games. I mean, I think it's worth it,
Heck yeah.
personally.
Heck yeah. And a little caveat, like these side events do cost money, so
Yeah,
be prepared for that. I don't have the prices in front of me, but just to put that out there.
they're basically, I'd say it's about like 15 to 25% over retail price of the packs for the things that are like sealed events. So like $36 would be 6 packs, but you're paying $45 plus fees for the event.
Yeah.
So it's not exorbitantly high. It is a
No.
little bit more than the actual cost, but you're getting the 6 packs and you're getting the tickets for however many games you win and your place. So,
Plus you get to play. And
and you get
honestly,
to
these
play.
side events sound really fun.
And you're in the event. You're at the event where this big thing is happening. Even if you're not in the main event, you're still there in that area where all the buzz is, and the room is like, it's got all this awesome stuff going around. So
Is
I
it too
think
late
that's
for me to go to Atlanta?
what's that?
Is it too late for me to go to
Right?
Atlanta?
Yeah, right. Nah, Vegas is going to be awesome.
All right, man. So let's talk about this. How frustrating is it for you to stay in set 3 meta when all the shiny new toys are sitting out there in set 4?
It is a bit frustrating. So I got all these cards and I can't build decks. I can't actually sit down and build all these new decks that, like, everyone's like, oh, look at this and look at have fun playing this and look at this, what this new card does. And Eric's always like, half like, oh, look at this deck that maybe is an idea. And we're like, no, we're not supposed to be doing that right now.
Anybody, it would be him. Yep, I believe
Yeah.
that.
But it's fun. It's fun seeing it, but I will be able to focus on it on Monday.
How crazy. Today's Wednesday that we're recording this. In 2 days. 2 days, you'll be there, James.
Yeah.
Repping Team Discard.
It's crazy, right?
Heck yeah.
It got here really fast when I thought it was like forever away, but now it's just here.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Okay, so you mentioned me not being able to do much with set 4, but we've been looking at it. We've been seeing all the cards. So let's talk about some set 4. What are our early impressions? So what do you think?
Well, I mean, we alluded to this earlier. There's definitely a lot of discontent about Ruby Sapphire and Emerald Steel discard with Bucky. They got lots of new toys. Like, you cannot deny that. It's interesting to go from set 3, which you're still in, where you're saying, pretty much any deck has a chance. And it's true. Like, I remember set 3. I'm old enough to remember that. Any deck had a chance to win. Like, it really was paper, rock, scissors. But with set 4, and it's still very early, this is a thing that people have to remember. It's still very early, but it looks like there's going to be 2 big decks here. And I think we're just waiting on the deck builders, the deck brewers, to come up with some alternatives. I know a lot of people think this red Fossa deck is going to be pretty good. So as far as variety goes, it seems like it's going to be a little less. Seems like it's going to be more set 2 meta than set 3 meta. But I say we give it time. I think once the first big tournament happens, which is probably Chicago, that we're going to start seeing new decks pop up.
Right. Yeah, there can be some really fun stuff that people have been brewing for a couple of weeks that just surprises people at Chicago because it hasn't. There's not an event for them to show up to, so that's going to definitely be interesting to see.
But the overall, I mean, one of my big takeaways from this set is just it feels like there's a lot of what's the word I'm trying to say? Like there's a lot of buffs where you can debuff a character's strength or you can buff them up. And it really kind of changes the dynamics of the game because it opens up a whole bunch of new shenanigans. Like we were talking about using the ice block to reduce a character down to 2 strengths so Sisu could wipe him out. So there's a whole bunch of stuff like that. Or there's characters like you talked about with Ling, where it gives all the heroes +1, which, and we're going to talk about the starter deck challenge, but Ling, bane of my existence when I was playing against him. Loved him when I had him on my side.
Yeah. So you mentioned the buffs up and down, but there's also like the changing of how things are played, like the Inkcaster that we revealed making cards inkable, or just like all this different stuff is moving around that is kind of like altering. I think a lot of decks are getting like a lot of pieces are being put in. It's like we're not getting like a whole new thing. We're just getting stuff that's slotting in to make things just a slightly different or a lot different to help make things wide. But I think, like you're right, that we may end up with just 2 main decks. We'll have to wait and see. We may end up where Ruby Amethyst is like no longer even like tier 2. Right?
Yeah. Oh man.
So, but yes, Ling is definitely one of those ones. Ling and also we have new and interesting ways to get free lore.
Oh yeah.
So like the new Flynn, Thebes, the new location.
Oh yes, Thebes was a good one. I like Thebes.
Where you can earn 2 lore just from challenging.
Yeah.
Or banishing. It's banishing. But you banish another character and all of a sudden you just earn 2 lore while you're challenging. It's basically, allowing you to be super goofy with every character.
Yeah.
And it's not even that expensive to use. It's like 2 to play and 1 to move. And you can, if you play it in the right color, if you play it with Ruby, you have multiple options for moving things there for free.
Yeah.
I think you have 3 different options. You can play the Jim Hawkins, you can play Voyage, and you can play the new Tuk Tuk.
Yep.
So,
or if you're using Amethyst, you can play Magic Carpet. I think that's a card people are sleeping on.
Yeah. So there's options to do, and the new Flynn is like all you need is a bunch of one of those beefy characters out, and if you're playing again Ruby Steel, you can put that Ling matched with this Flynn along with a bunch of the Ruby characters who have really high strength. And you never have to worry about having a higher strength character because you've got all those buffs out, and you get that 3 free lore every time, as long as Flynn is surviving.
The other one that you're talking about free lore is this Isabella Madrigal.
Yeah.
She has evasive, which I mean, this card was good enough as it was, but having evasive and her ability says, during your turn, if no other character has quested this turn, this character gets +3 lore. So You can just
3
turn her
lore.
sideways and get
That makes her
4
4
lore.
lore.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And the thing is if you're playing this in this particular deck, you have so many other things that you're doing. And so like you can use, like if you're playing Ruby Amethyst, you have all that removal and the bounce package where she can just sit there and quest away, and all of your other characters can deal with the board.
Yeah.
So 4 lore every turn, and you're doing all the removal stuff you need to do. So
and she's
it's
just a rare.
yeah, just a rare. No big deal.
Oh man.
So that, yeah, I think there's lots of like little pieces that they put in here that are just like really impactful into the decks. It's just, we got to now figure out how to make them work.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about how much product were you able to score for set 4, and what are some of your biggest hits?
I was able to. I managed to get boxes from 3 different stores, and I got 5 booster boxes. And I got stuff at Downtown Disney.
Oh yeah.
Thankfully. Even though they did run out of Tinkerbell mats like 15 people in front of me.
Oh dang.
Yeah. But I got one at one of the stores. They actually saved some for their regular players. And so when I walked in to pick up my pre-order, they're like, "Do you still need a mat?" And I'm like, "I actually do need the Tinkerbell." I was actually the second to last person to get the Rapunzel at Downtown Disney.
Okay. We are set 4. How are we not upping production of these playmats
I don't know.
and accessories?
Well, the
and
other
tropes?
issue was at Downtown Disney, they were letting everyone buy 5 of each playmat.
Wow,
That's a lot.
It said that they were limiting product to 2 of each, right?
That was at Disney World.
Ah, okay.
Downtown Disney, they're like, we just want to sell this stuff as fast as possible, so let's make everything limit 5.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird that they have completely different limitations at both locations. It's really weird.
Yeah.
But no, the mats were gone. We got there. Eric got in line at 6 a.m. and we were in the first, I don't know, easily the first 100 people, I'd say. And the mats ran out. The Tinkerbell mats ran out before we got up there.
Dang, man. No,
Yeah.
I saw those lines. People showed pictures. They
Yeah.
were all the way out in the freaking parking garage.
Yeah, they went a bit of a ways. But no, so I got some troves as well. I opened up a bunch. It was really weird. Apparently, the Lorcana magic was you're going to get Sisu this set, and you're not going to get Ursula, Mulan, or Cinderella, because I did not get any of those 3 legendaries, but I got, over the course of the sealed events and all of my boxes and stuff, 9 Sisus.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right?
Jeez.
But none of those other 3 legendaries.
I mean, there are worse ones to get. Sisu
There are worse. I mean, when it
crazy.
jumped $30 in one day, I was like, "Oh wow, okay."
You got some
I guess it
trade
wasn't
fodder.
that bad pulling 9 of them. But no, I got everything I needed. I'm still missing a bunch of rares and like, I don't know, 15 to 20 rares and super rares, and then like 30 legendaries to complete my play sets. But I'm doing okay. I'll trade for stuff.
Yeah.
If you see me at the DLC in Atlanta, I'll have some trades.
You got some Sisus.
I got a couple Sisus.
I was able to score 1 box. Well, I mean, that's all I was able to afford, honestly. But I did manage to pull an enchanted Snuggly Duckling.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool.
That's what I wanted to mention. All that stuff, 0 enchanteds.
Oh my gosh, James!
Right?
Ugh.
My luck was used up on all the previous sets apparently, because I got nothing this set.
Oh man, yeah, I got super lucky. I also got 4 legendaries, so nothing
That's
crazy.
good. That's average for a box, so you did fine.
Got a Cinderella anyway. And then thanks to you, you gave me a heads up about the Best Buy pre-order for Illuminator's Quest. So that will be coming in on the 31st. And then, yeah, that's it. That's all I got so far. I have placed orders on TCG Player, so I should have all the super rare cards and lower on their way. It's like, nice. Oh my gosh, man. It's like cheaper than buying a box to get all of those.
That's crazy.
Legendaries, on the other hand, okay. I mean, I got some legendaries like Piglet, the cheaper ones,
Right.
but the legendaries, forget about it.
Yeah. So randomly, the other polls I got was it's like, if you're gonna get a foil legendary, make it a good one, right? So I did get 2 good ones. I got a Diablo and a Mulan. So
Yep.
I'm like, okay,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
also 2 Tritons.
I thought for sure you're gonna say Piglet.
No, 2
Or
Tritons.
Triton. Triton's got to be better than people are giving him credit for. I have a feeling. He's going to be
like a
better.
$2 legendary.
I know.
It's the cheapest one.
Yeah.
It's a no one's gonna use it.
We
Didn't
did
we
put him on the bottom of our tier list.
We did put him in the bottom. He's not good. So yeah.
Oh man. All right. So
now you mentioned earlier that you did a starter deck challenge. I did one too. Is not just a straight starter deck, but I think you did. Was it just a starter deck challenge?
It was a starter deck plus, the pack that you get.
Okay. Because I did one where it was the starter deck with 3 extra packs.
Okay.
So there's a little bit more stuff. How did yours go?
So it went well. Well, I mean, once it started. So I've told you that we play in a boba store.
Right.
So like they have product there that you can buy and stuff. However, for the starter deck challenge, the tournament organizer was, bringing the starter decks. But they weren't there, so we had to wait like 45 minutes for the thing to start. So good thing it's a boba place. So I got some boba. But once it started, I did
making everyone order. That was their secret for making everyone order extra food and drink.
I got the Steel Sapphire deck, which is the one everybody said, that's the one you want to run. And so in my extra pack, I got the super rare Raya in Steel. And then I got a Jasmine in green. But I mean nothing spectacular. So
the Jasmine's pretty good.
Yeah, but I never drew her.
No,
sadly. So my first round, I got paired against somebody that was also playing Steel Sapphire, and those matches were interesting. The mirror matches. I ended up winning 2-0, but it's just like, my patient would play Ling, and then it was just like this chess game trying to figure out how we can remove their threat. And there's not a whole lot of removal. Like there's smash, so I think I was able to smash his Ling a couple times. But yeah, so I managed to pull out, the win. I think I was 2-0 on that one. I may have been 2-1. The second round I played against the Amber Amethyst deck, and so I did go 2-0 my first round. The second round, everybody's like, oh man, Steel Sapphire just crushes Amethyst, Amber. So I was feeling pretty confident, even though I shouldn't have. I know this guy got off to a fast start, and I just could not catch up. He crushed me the first game. However, and then game 2, it was so close. He was at like 17 lore, and I managed to hold him off. Like, I took enough lore off of his side of the board that he could not win the next turn, and he did not have enough answers to prevent me from winning. So I was able to sneak that game 2. And then third game, I won pretty easily. So I was 2-0 going into round 3. And then I got matched up against another Steel Sapphire deck. And this is from one of the players he's a really good player. And he outplayed me. He drew better cards, had a better strategy, and I lost. So, but it was fun. Like, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed playing with the starter decks. And I don't think the Amber Amethyst was as bad as people were giving it credit for. Although I'm sure Steel Sapphire decks probably won a lot of these. But I think it's better than people were giving it credit for. They just have a lot of characters with a lot of strength and willpower that can be played early in the game that were hard for me to answer.
Right. Okay. Yeah, but they had to get them out in the right order, which apparently they did.
Yeah, that first game anyway.
Yeah. I also got the Steel Sapphire and the 3 packs, and I think we ended up playing 4 rounds because they were giving a booster box to the champion. So we played till there was a single winner, and that only took 4 rounds. But I went 3-1, which is pretty good for, you know, I was pretty happy with that. My only loss was against someone who was doing the Sapphire Steel with the 3 extra packs. You know, so it was 4 packs total. We could filter in, and I had the 6-drop Ariel, the other one that we revealed, and unfortunately, when I played her, my opponent had more items than me, and I needed 5 lore to win, and she would only get me 3. And he had so many characters on board that he just won the next turn.
Dang.
But I would have won if I would have been able to get rid of his items, or if he hadn't have played those items. So it was like, what a bummer. Yeah, it was a tough game. It was a tough matchup. But we were only doing best of 1, so it was just like 1 and done.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, all of my sealed events were just best of 1s. So I ended up going 2-1 at both of the Kingslayer events I went to, where it was just 6 packs, and you build a deck, 40-card deck, and you know you go. And so I think I did okay. I mean, the standouts for me were the item that gives you Challenger +2. I think it's not in steel.
Oh, the Imperial Bow. The Imperial Bow. Yes, that was a good one.
Yeah, that I had that one. Is that's in Ruby though, right?
The Imperial Bow is still.
It's steel. Okay.
The character evasive too.
Yeah, evasive and Challenger. Yeah. So I had that, and that was just like getting used all day long. Like every time I had it, I just played it on turn 2 and was just using it all day long.
That card is a menace. I agree.
And Qianpo is in limited. Qianpo is amazing. In the first sealed event, I ended up getting 2 of them, and in one game, I was able to play both of them out on subsequent turns. And those 2 just big bodyguards, just sitting there letting all the other characters quest away. And I had the Ana out that lets heroes get a +1 lore, and so I was like, you know. And then I ended up being able to play the Li Shang that gives characters with 4 strength or more an extra lore. So I was just earning lore all over the place. It was pretty cool.
You're just dripping lore.
Just dripping lore everywhere. But yeah, so I still managed to like the one game I lost the first night. I lost it 20-19.
Dang.
There
so
was
close.
Like 2 turns before my opponent won. I had to discard a card. And the card I discarded had 2 lore on it. And if I hadn't discarded that, I would have played that instead of the other one I ended up drawing. And I would have had the extra lore I needed to win on my turn. But I only was able to go up to 19, and then my opponent won.
Dang, man.
Yeah, so just little things, man. Little things in the game can do that. Just one card different. All right, so what do we got next? Do we want to talk about underrated cards?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. What are people sleeping on?
You want me to start?
Oh, I don't know, man. I think you're right. You know, like you mentioned the Vitalis here, but that bow I think is going to be pretty important because it's like Maui's fishhook, but it is way cheaper.
But at work, yeah.
So I think and you get both Challenger and Evasive instead of having to pick. But it's only on your turn, so it doesn't stay evasive.
Yeah, exert, pay 1, chosen hero character gets Challenger +2 and evasive this turn. Yeah, I mean, it
means you don't have to play any evasives.
Yeah, because I had the Steel Sapphire deck too, and you're right. This card puts in the work, and this goes back to what I was talking about with all the buffs and debuffs. Challenger +2, like, yeah, the Steel Sapphire deck had a lot of underpowered characters, but if you got this on board going, it buffed them up, and that's what allowed you to take out cards like Louisa.
Yeah, and add it to Ling. Yeah, you know, if you add Ling in there, then that's +3.
All right, so I'm gonna go with this one here, Elsa, Storm Chaser.
Oh yes.
So you exert her. chosen character gains challenger +2 and rush this turn. They get +2 strength while challenging. Yeah, this is kind of like the Imperial Bow, except for it gives your characters rush. So, I mean, this is another one that you could pair with that Mulan or with Aladdin. Give him rush, give him challenger +2. Yeah, this card.
This card is the reason why, because me and Eric were facing each other in the final game of the sealed event on Monday night, and this card is the reason why he won. Because he played it down on turn 3, and then every turn after that, I had to worry about if I exerted something, that card was going away. So we actually both just sat playing cards for like 3 turns without exerting anything until I got a bodyguard down. I got Chien Po down. I'm like, okay, now I can exert some stuff. And I got 1 turn in, and then he just used that to like decimate the board, help decimate the board. It was crazy.
Yeah, you're like playing footsies, trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a game of chess.
And then in so in limited, it's very powerful, but in constructed, I think it's also going to be very powerful because now it gives a very good target for the Shift Elsa, and I think that the Spirit of Winter Elsa can come back into the meta and be very powerful, coming down on 6 now instead of on 8.
That's true. I feel like I'm not sure how I feel about this Avalanche card. I think in the right deck, it could be a card that people are sleeping on. Deal 1 damage to each opposing character. You may banish chosen location.
I think someone might figure out a way to pair that with the Prince Philip that banishes all damaged characters.
Oh yeah.
So,
yep. What else? What else are people sleeping on? We talked about Ice Block already.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, there's just lots of little pieces of things. That Anna is really cool. That gives +1 lore.
Yeah.
You can build a deck with. There are so many heroes. You can build a hero deck, and she can be like just the last piece. To where, especially in an aggro deck, if you aggro all of play a bunch of characters, all of a sudden all of your 2 and 3 lore aggro characters become 3 and 4 lore. If you don't get taken care of, then on turn 5 you win.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Okay. Anything else sticking out to you about cards people are sleeping on?
I don't know if anyone's sleeping on them, but I think brooms are going to be. I don't know if they're yet like a top deck, but I think they're much better, and I think they're going to be very good. That Megara is really nice. That 3-drop uninkable Megara. That's a really good one in limited too. You may have to discard to play it, but she stays out for quite a few turns, getting that 2 lore every turn.
Here's a card people are sleeping on. Triton Legendary. Yeah, man.
I don't think so. All right.
Funny.
Oh, that Mickey on a 2-drop Mickey.
Oh yeah, this
that
one
is
here.
Also a very good card in limited, with that giving two challenger to someone. So like if your opponent plays a 1/3 and they think they're safe because it's a 1/3 and they quest with it, all of a sudden here comes Mickey giving your 1/3 a 3/3. There it goes.
Yeah, man. That's the thing about a lot of these cards. They play mind games with you. Like, I have a 1/3 character out, but is it really safe? Like, what if they play Mickey? What if they play Imperial Bow? Like, it just makes you question every decision even more. Whereas before, you had a certain amount of like comfort in knowing what was and what wasn't coming.
And I'm sure it'll solidify into the meta, and we'll know what a lot of people are playing. And then all of a sudden, someone will find this little tech card that just changes everything. 10 weeks into the meta.
I also feel like there's a place for this One Last Hope. I feel like too. With especially with like Relentless Beast, that could be a pretty deadly combo.
Oh yeah, I'd really like to see a bodyguard deck or a musketeer deck become a thing too.
So for those who are listening, One Last Hope says chosen character gains resist +2 until the start of your next turn. If a hero character is chosen, they may also challenge a ready character this turn. I feel like that mechanic is on the verge of being something good.
Right. Yeah, because there's a lot of characters that you would want to give that to that can, it's basically pick a fight, but letting your character survive.
Yeah. And Relentless Beast has got to be a hero, right?
Yeah, I would assume so.
You know what? Maybe I'm gonna make a new deck. I like this idea.
Oh, and that Lumiere.
Look at that Lumiere gives your other characters +1 strength, so there's another buff there. Yep, just like Link.
Just other characters, not just heroes, but all other characters.
Yeah,
that's your Medusa block right there.
That's right. All right, let's get this off the screen here. Okay, so I also wanted to talk about Lumineer's Quest, and the genesis of me wanting to talk about this is coming from a tweet that somebody sent. Let me see if I can pull it up here.
Still haven't even opened mine. Been so busy, I haven't even had a chance to.
Brag. I'm getting mine. One on order. Yeah, I got one on order. Okay. Where is it? I had it open and ready to go, and then I switched. Oh, yeah. Okay. Again, sorry, figuring out technology. I'm going to bring you to Twitter here. Here we are. Okay. Then we're going to go to bookmarks. Yeah, I can't spell. Okay. By Terrace Black. LSP Terrace. So they said, okay, but why did I have more fun playing the Ursula quest than I have a single 1v1 game of Lorcana? I think what they managed to put together with it deserves to constantly be on store shelves and get an online client. That felt like what will take Lorcana to the stratosphere. All right, James. So I was hoping that you'd had some experience with Ursula's the Lumineer's Quest. Sounds like you didn't. But what's the feedback you've been getting about this game?
As far as I know, it's been all good. I know Eric popped his open the day we got him and played it at home, and he said they played it with just the 2 pre-built decks and were able to beat it fairly easily on normal. So I think he had fun doing it. But it sounds to me like a lot of people are really getting into playing this thing, and like being able to do it solo means you can just like sit down and play the game without having to worry about having anyone else around, or just like you have some time to try it out. Play some fun decks, build some decks just specifically for this, just for fun. It sounds like a really cool way to just expand the Lorcana universe of playing.
So I have mine on pre-order from Best Buy. It's coming the 31st. And I'm just praying. I'm praying that it gets here before I head up to Idaho. I head up to Idaho on the 31st because I would love to play this with my son up there.
Nice. Yeah.
I think that'd be a lot of fun. Because I don't have anybody here in my household here that's going to play with me.
Well, then you play the solo version, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm really excited to try this. I've never played a game like this. I know there are other card games that are like this that exist out there. I've just never had a lot of experience with it. And you know what? To Twitter's credit, to social media's credit, I have not seen what the card in the gold foil is yet.
Me either. So, I haven't been spoiled.
No, watch. Everybody's gonna flood our inbox. Here it is. But I will say I'm very surprised, and I'm happy about that. I mean, the 21st is only 9 days away, so hopefully, I don't know, man. Hopefully it gets here, and I can't wait.
Maybe I should make sure I try and play it on Monday after we get back from Atlanta, since we have the day off for the holiday.
Yeah, heck yeah. All right, so I guess we'll give a further in-depth review once we both had a chance to play it.
Yeah, I mean we'll probably devote at least a portion of an episode to just the quest.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we're gonna head into the ending segments.
Yep, ending segments.
We have news. We already knew what the set championship card and playmat were going to be, and now we know the dates. And it is essentially every Saturday and Sunday in July can be picked to hold a set championship. The I mean, it's crazy how they switched it around on us because it was 10 days previously covering 2 full weekends. But now it's the 6th and 7th, the 13th and 14th, the 20th and 21st, and the 27th and 28th are all the valid days that a store can hold the store championship. Nothing really, I don't think anything else has really changed. Any store that held a Stitch championship and is still in good standing and is still an OP store is automatically approved to hold an Ursula's Return store championship.
Is it crazy? Is it crazy that 1 month after Big Box, Ursula Returns releases, that they're holding set championships?
Yeah, it's a little weird, and taking the entire month. I bet you they did it because it's summertime, and I know that there's gonna be lots of vacations and things going on, and so many different things happening. I think it's a good call to spread it out and let stores pick which weekend over the course of the month they can hold it on. Gives it a lot more freedom for the store to do it on a day that works for them.
You're never going to make everybody happy there.
No.
That it's not just one day. Yeah, people have said that it's not, like last time. So I don't know, man. I'm indifferent. Like, I'm surprised. I'm surprised that they opened up and made it so broad. 4 weekends seems like a lot, but it is what it is. And at the end of the day, get good.
And like for me, it's I can't. I mean, if I wanted to, I can't actually go every weekend and find a store somewhere in SoCal because one of the weekends is Comic-Con weekend. So I can't even go play because I'll be at Comic-Con.
Oh, poor Jay.
I know, right? For me. But I mean, like if I wanted to, like if all my local stores decide to do it on the 27th and 28th, then I'm out of luck. I have to go find further away stores for the other weekends.
So here's a question: with 3 weekends, are you gonna bump up your game? Are you gonna go from 7 set championships to 10?
To 10? I don't think I could do 10. It's not possible. I don't think there's going to be 2 places I can play on multiple days. I may do like 4.
Yeah.
1 or 2 a weekend of the 3 weekends that it's happening.
Those are rookie numbers.
We also, in between recording this and it dropping, the Fort Worth DLC tickets will go on sale for both competitors and attendees, I think. So if you are playing in Fort Worth, and the attendance and the number of people who can compete was revealed, and it's the same as Atlanta, 2,048. So it's going to be another big one. And I don't really know if there's much else to announce about it. It just basically it's the same as Atlanta and Chicago. It's tickets on sale, 2,048, and attendees can go and hang out. And you need a badge in order to get in the room. The app is updated finally.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah, it sounded like it was going to take a lot longer, based on what Rochelle said in that one day on in the Discord. It sounded like it wasn't going to be till the end of the month, but it happened just a couple days ago. And so, if you need to look up stuff, all of the Ursula's Return cards are in there as a separate set, so you can remove those from like your deck building.
I'm not peeking. I'm not doing it.
Is the prize card in there too?
I don't know.
I haven't looked, so I don't know.
I haven't looked at the Ursula's deck either, though.
Yeah. So so that's in there. You can see all the cards, and we got an update to the comprehensive rules a couple of days ago as well. And this one that Jared is showing on the screen is one of the ones that a lot of people were worried about, which is people who play their ink that they're playing face up for that turn, so they know they've inked, and then turn it over at the end of the turn or sometime during their turn. And it is now in the comprehensive rules that is allowed, as long as the ink is upside down by the at the end of the turn. You can keep it face up. And also you can use placeholders for your ink as long as it's exactly, easily able to tell how much ink you have with whatever placeholder you're using.
What does that mean? Like, you could use a dice and put the number 5 on it and be like, I have 5 ink?
I think so. I think, or like tokens.
Using mana cards, or
Like, why would you use other cards though? I mean, unless you
Yeah.
wanted to be like, this is definitely my ink pile right here, and this is how many cards I have, and they're like a completely other different kind of card, so that they don't look like the cards I'm playing, so it cannot be confused for my hand. Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
So it's not, so you don't set it down and accidentally pick up your ink instead of your hand. But the solution to that is just put your hand somewhere with like something on top of it, like a dice or a little like figure or a marker of some kind. So you're like, this is my hand.
Absolutely.
So those are the things. And I think that's about it for the news. I'm sure there's little bits here and there, but those are the major things, I think.
Yeah.
And we don't have any new cards because the set just came out. And we are obviously not going to get the next set until after Big Box. Like 2 weeks after Big Box, we'll probably start getting, hey, guess what set 5 is? Yeah, that soon.
Is this a set we finally get Oswald hopping in?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I think someone would appreciate having an Oswald based on the headgear.
It's probably going to be set 15.
Set 15? I don't know. Maybe before double digits. Digits.
Fingers crossed.
Disney Jeopardy time?
Whoop, whoop. Okay, here we go.
Are you ready? I have prepared some questions. Kind of. I have to I just wrote down like very little bits, and I have to figure out how to put them into a sentence here. Okay, for 100. This is the actress who voices Mulan.
Who is Ming Na Wen?
That is correct. This is, for 200, this is the name of the dragon in Mulan.
Who's Mushu?
See, I think everyone has forgotten about Mushu because he doesn't have a card yet.
Oh, drop. Mic drop right there. All right.
Okay. This one, I'm not sure how hard it's going to be, but let's see. So these 3 friends of Mulan all have cards in the latest set of Lorcana.
Who are Cricky, Khan? Who's the other friend? Or are you talking about the three guys who are Qin Pao, Ling, and Yao?
Those are the 3 I was looking for.
Okay.
But if you had said mix them up and put in Cricky and Mushu and Khan, I would have accepted that, even though that wasn't the answer I'm looking for. Okay, this one might be a little tougher. I don't know when was the last time you watched Mulan. This is who Mulan calls little brother.
Oh my gosh, I can hear her saying that. It's who is her dog?
Yes, nice. Got the 400.
All right.
Okay. Let me see if I can phrase this. I have to figure out how to phrase this 500-point question to make it somewhat difficult.
I'm sensing a theme here.
There is a bit of a theme. In 1999, Mulan was the very first Disney movie in this form of media.
You're talking about like a DVD? That type of media? Or are you talking about like
physical media?
IMAX. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say, what is a DVD?
That is correct.
All
Mulan
right.
was the very first ever Disney DVD.
I did not realize that.
I didn't either. Little interesting. You got 5 for 5.
Whoop whoop. Well,
nice.
Now I feel bad. I always give you a hard question or two.
I thought that Mulan DVD one could have been hard. You could have been like beta, not beta, but what was the other one that went away? There was another one that was competing with DVD. You might have also said Blu-ray if you had messed up what year things were coming out.
Yeah, there was another one with DVD. I can't think of the name of it now.
Yeah, it's so old. It's like, no, we don't forget that other thing.
Oh man, we're old.
All right, well done.
Well, If you liked what you heard, you can follow us on YouTube. You can subscribe to us on the podcasting platform of your choice. You can find me on the website formerly known as Twitter at Citizens of Lorcana. And James, where can they find you?
You can find me everywhere at Dan Regal, and currently it is Comic-Con season, so every week on Tuesday nights I am live for the SD Concast, covering all of the latest Comic-Con news, and we have special guests and stuff. And if you don't want to watch it live, we also do the same thing. It's on YouTube for you to watch later, and a podcast, so wherever podcasts. So I think that's it. So everyone, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.